course, it's your boy CDJ. You know how we do. So we're gonna get into some topics that are kind of key lines as what we should discuss tonight. So let me get everything together. Let me get everything together because I didn't have everything together last. Alright, cool. So the first topic we're gonna talk about tonight is gonna be, why is it important for black men to face their fears and take risks? Right? So why is it important for black men to face fears and take risks? So the first thing is that you will not see self-improvement without being challenged. So it's better to challenge yourself than to wait for God to challenge you. So this is something that I learned a lot this year. If you don't reach out there and take the challenges that are set in front of you, there's no way that you can ever be successful. Right? Like, God is meant to challenge you. Like, God is meant to, steer you in the right direction, even sometimes where things are uncertain and you don't know which way things are going to go. I think God puts you in that position for a reason, right? He wants to see you succeed. He wants to see you grow. He wants to see you become the best version of yourself. So, I think that at the end of the day, you have to be focused on self-improvement without necessarily being deterred by being challenged. Being challenged is necessary in life. Allows you to grow, and it's an important step to taking risks. The second thing is that this is the fear of the Lord, right? You have to adopt the fear of the Lord, or the fear of God, the fear of the unknown, the fear of something bigger than you, right? I think it's stated in Proverbs and multiple verses. So the fear of the Lord is important if you want to face your fears and if you want to take risks, because you can't stay in your comfort zone, right? Like, life is about getting uncomfortable. Life is about putting yourself in positions where, you may not think you fit, but you figure out how to maneuver. You figure out how to become the best version of yourself, right? So staying in your comfort zone is a problem. You should feel uncomfortable when you're in your comfort zone, right? Like, that should be your first step, that I'm in the wrong place. If you feel comfortable, then that means you're not growing. That means that you're not trying to excel. Being stuck in your comfort zone is not a place that you want to be. So I ask that, you continue to grow. And just like a father disciplines his child, a father disciplines his child because he loves their child, right? It's the same way with God, right? God is going to challenge you to be the best version of yourself, just like a father would challenge his child. But you don't get mad at your father, your heavenly father, or your earthly father for challenging you. But you may get mad at your heavenly father for challenging you. I think that's a negative, right? You should work on understanding that if you're anointed, God is going to challenge you. There really is nothing to fear, because anything could be overcome, right? Like, any circumstance can be overcome. Anything that you go through can be overcome. We live in a land full of second chances, despite what popular belief, right? The most important thing is to, focus on being the best version of yourself. Look at Job from the Bible, right? Job had everything and he lost it, right? And he questioned God, and in the end, he ended up getting everything back twice fold, right? So that's a perfect example of why it's important to face challenges and face fears, take risks, right? Because God is your blanket, right? And faith is your blanket. Faith in yourself, even if you don't believe in a higher power, is your blanket, right? So use it, utilize it. Either way, life is going to be hard, whether you chase success or you don't. Life is a challenge. Life is meant to be tough, right? Life is meant to really mold you into a higher being, a higher self, right? So life is always going to be challenging. Don't ever feel like if you want to be lazy or you don't want to grow, that life isn't going to be hard. There's no easy routes. There's no easy way out. Life is going to challenge you regardless. Fear is necessary for survival. Right? Without fear, how will we survive, right? So I understand, having that fear and not wanting to put yourself out there, but you have to understand that when you take risks, it's going to be very, very scary, right? But it's necessary for your survival. A lot of our ancestors, they had to do a lot of things that they didn't want to do and they probably were scared to do, but they did it because they understood that we had to survive. So, uncertainty will always exist. Don't ever feel like you'll live through an uncertain time, especially today, right? Everything is uncertain. Everything that we go through is uncertain. Everything that we experience is chaotic, right? So I think that's the lesson, is trying to learn how to grow in chaos, right? Take uncertainty and make the most of it. And that's why it's important to take risks, because what's the biggest risk than doing something when everything around you is uncertain? Rainy days allow you to experience sunshine. That's a very important part, right? Like, without rainy days, like, how would you experience the light? Like, what would you know? How would you know a good day if you never experienced a bad day? So it's important to really, understand that and utilize that, because, fear is necessary and uncertainty will always exist, and rainy days will always bring sunshine. So just look forward to it. Like, look forward to the rainy days just as much as you look forward to the sunshine. All dreams are on the opposite side of risk, right? Like, risk is the polar opposite of accomplishment, right? There's good risk, there's bad risk, but the only way you're going to get to your dreams is if you take that risk. Don't be scared to be embarrassed. Don't be scared to have egg on your face, right? That's unnecessary, right? I think that's something I try to learn as well. I would be hypocritical to say I'm not. It's important to really put yourself out there, because if you don't, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? If you want to accomplish your dreams, the only way you can do it is by taking action. Don't be afraid to fail. I lost out on a lot of opportunities. I feel like that's a part of life, right? You're going to miss out on opportunities, so don't be afraid to fail. There's a lot of jobs, a lot of things that I wanted to do that I didn't get to do, a lot of people that I wanted in my life that didn't want to be a part of my life, and I'm still standing, right? So as a positive, and that's how you should take it, right? Is if you're still standing after going through a traumatic situation like that, then you're a strong person. Failure has no picks, and life will move on whether you comply or not. So yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it's important for black men to really face their fears and take risks, and really all men. It's important to take that risk and grow and try to be the best version of you. Thanks.